Remember, we are the dream, awakening to itself. Aloha, multidimensional friends, shifters, light guardians, dreamers within this holographic matrix of love. This is Brendan, aka Skull Babylon, aka Mystic Spider-Man, aka Wolf Shield, welcoming you to another Paradigm Shift Central Team Roundtable broadcast. It is such an awesome thing just to be able to have you here, to be able to be in this present moment for all of us who are here. Every day is another opportunity to be able to help change the world. So thank you for being here to be able to celebrate the things that we are doing together as a community, as a collective, to be able to help accelerate the shift, to be able to help plant those seeds, to be able to help bring people together, to be able to help assist with that awakening each and every day, each and every moment. So simply by being here, by being present, by arriving, by being in our breath. Sometimes that's as simple as it is. So thank you again, everyone. We are rolling, broadcasting live across YouTube, across Facebook, and across Twitch. So thank you to everyone wherever you are tuning in. Did have a slight tech hiccup at the beginning there, but nonetheless, we are rolling. And again, we have so much to celebrate, so much just to be able to bring everyone up to speed on. And of course, I am joined here by a few other shifters and going to be having some other shifters later in the show also on air to be able to celebrate the things that we are doing to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. So that's what I'll be explaining in the next moment. But in the meantime, if I can just gently invite our friends, I believe at this point is literally just Tamara because Manders stepped away from the computer. So Tamara, give me one second here. I just got to make sure that things are all set up before I invite you to unmute your microphone. Now's the cue. Go ahead, unmute your microphone and gently say hello and much love to all the people tuned into this into the future. So aloha, everyone. We love you. Where was that? Did you cue that wolf howl? Was that a thing? What just happened there?
Joys of being a mom.
Right? Oh, okay. Soundboard comes with you everywhere you go. Understood.
Yes.
Understood. Awesome.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you again. So, like I said, what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to give you a brief introduction in terms of what to be able to expect from this broadcast. So those of you who have been joined in on the past, you know that these regular broadcasts are something that we do to bring people together around this table, around this round table with intention. And the intention, the context of what it is that we are creating is basically the opportunity within this specific broadcast, the opportunity to be able to use this space to document the ongoing shift by giving people the opportunity to talk about the ways in which they are helping, the ways in which they are helping assist with the shift in consciousness. Sorry, I just had to switch camera there. I didn't realize. Oh, wait. No, Google Hangouts is glitching out. Hold on, folks. The internet is just getting up to speed with the lightning fast energy that we're sending out there. Let's see. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep talking even if the camera's not showing up. I assume you guys can hear me okay. Like, it's literally just whatever. Don't worry about it. Okay. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be giving you guys a brief update on where the Paradigm Shift Central project is at, what to be able to expect in the coming future. And again, just sharing with you some of the really cool things that are happening in my local community in terms of some awesome virtual reality stuff that I want to be able to talk to you about. And also just be able to give you the update on where like projects are at, upcoming new broadcasts that we got in the works. And let's see, is this gonna actually be a thing where I have to do a thing where I have to take 1 second here? Sorry folks, I just don't want to be able to multitask too much harder than I need to. So what? Oh man, hold on. Jeez, it's like sorry folks, we're professionals here, but sometimes Google Chrome just does not want to be able to cooperate. And for the time being, you guys can still hear me, I know that. And I literally just can't switch the camera because everything's like threatening to crash on me right now. Technically, everything is crashed on me right now. Whatever. Anyways, focusing on the audio dialogue, and in the meantime, you just get to look at Tamara on camera. Tamara, just give him some of them spirit fingers, and all that jazz. So perfect. Okay, Tamara, just do a quick sound check. I want to be able to make sure that I can still hear you coming through as need be.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it sounds fine.
I think you can.
Okay, all right. That's totally cool. Okay, perfect. Anyways, you guys always said that you were tired of looking at my face anyway, so there you go. Congratulations, you manifested that. So honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to switch the camera for the time being. Wait. There we go. See? Isn't that right on cue? Every time we're just like, I accept my fate. This is the end. And then the universe is just like, oh, okay, now you get it. Recombobulates. Everything is back in its original order. So there we go. Like I said, things were just kind of pinwheeling there on the side of Google Chrome. But nonetheless, focusing in on the intention of what we're doing here. And we're going to get into a short micro meditation to be able to kick things off. This broadcast, let me just re-summarize. This is about recreating the intention of the roundtable in the modern day context. This is about being able to invite people who uphold that chivalric code, who uphold the virtues of nobility, who uphold that bigger purpose of being able to help others, to be in service, to be able to help change the world. So for everyone listening to this, for those of you in the YouTube, do you guys want to help change the world? And if you do, drop some huge 1111s down in the chat. Let's hear it. Let's get all pumped up because I know we got an amazing crew here. And what we're doing here within this broadcast, we're going to bring you guys up to speed, some simple like news related to the project. And then from there, we're going to be inviting other shifters onto the call, into the circle to be able to talk about the ways that they're helping shift consciousness where they are through their art, through community events, through their own personal development. And all of this is going to be fitting within the time frame of this broadcast, which will technically be no more than about 90 minutes. So keeping things pretty concise on that end. So for those of you who didn't get the full update from the previous broadcast, long story short, Paradigm Shift Central has launched a new website, which we are very, very excited about. There's been a lot of just kind of like more calibration, more crystallization in terms of what it is that we are creating here as a team. And one of those things is being able to help focus more from the back end of things with a conscious media co-op, which is focusing on producing the content that is going to be featured through the main website. And so this is where you're going to be seeing new videos, new journals, new articles, new dream interpretation, new meditations by members of the co-op featured through the Paradigm Shift Central website. And over time, as things unfold, we will slowly be inviting more people into the co-op to be able to have their content featured, to be able to work alongside the team, to be able to collaborate on more future video projects and other awesome assignments that we got in the works to be able to share and to be able to help it get to a bigger audience. So thank you to everyone who may be tuning into this for the first time. It's fun getting back into the routine of this because this style of, talking and broadcasting like a muscle, it's something where you just have to be able to get back into the practice of it. So it's great to be able to be here again, to be able to help start creating new momentum, new direction that we're taking the project, not necessarily fully new direction, but just like more focus, more clarity, more awesomeness that we have available to be able to provide to the community. Jeez, listen to me. I'm just babbling on right now. So with that said, we're going to move into just a quick meditation at the beginning to be able to center ourselves, just to be able to relax, to be able to connect with that moment of oneness. From there, I want to be able to actually just talk a little bit about the importance of conscious media. And again, like why this is something that it is that we're focused on creating through the project. And then from there, I also want to be able to talk a bit about some additional things that I'm working on, as well as some new broadcasts that we're doing through Instagram. And then from there, we'll be able to pass it over to Tamara. Tamara will tell you about some of the ways that she's helping shift consciousness from her end. And again, through this, I do want to be able to check in with other co-op members. If you're on the Discord server, check under the announcements for the links to be able to join the Google Hangout directly. For those of you who are looking to be able to join the Google Hangout who are currently in the YouTube chat, we still want to be able to invite a few people on, literally just keeping the circle pretty small for the time being. So if you do want to be able to jump into the broadcast, all you have to do is leave your email in the live chat, and then from there I'll copy and paste it and put it into the circle portal into the team roundtable so that you can join through Google Hangouts. So you will need a Gmail account for that. So if you would like to be able to come onto the broadcast, just leave your Gmail and we'll invite you on. And if not today, because we may not have time for everyone, if not today, then another time. There will be more of these broadcasts coming up in the future. So let's move into a very short meditation as we just bring ourselves into center before we rush off ahead and continue to trip over our own feet and try not to make a fool of ourselves live on air when everybody's watching. Oh God, so much pressure. Stop judging me, internets. I'm doing my best. Just kidding. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, so quick question in the YouTube comment. If you're looking to join from a phone, you will need Google Hangouts. So if you're not already familiar with Google Hangouts, there is an additional step there where you will need to be able to get the Google Hangouts installed as well. So like I said, I just want to be able to gently invite people on one at a time. And if we don't get you on today, stay tuned because we will be able to bring people on in future broadcasts. So before we move any further, let's get into a gentle meditation. So just inviting everyone in this moment to relax their shoulders, straighten up their spine, relax their face, and gently connect with their breath. Gentle inhales through the nose. Gentle exhales through the nose or the mouth. Just allowing yourself to connect in this moment of oneness, even just placing your hands gently on your heart. Being able to step into the intention of this circle, of this broadcast. The intention being to be able to help continue to inspire each other by sharing our stories, by documenting our collective story. So breathe into that. Gentle exhales. And know that simply by being here, you two are taking part of a bigger story. That every single person listening to this broadcast does have their own story. And we encourage you to be able to honor your own story, to honor the things that you are doing to help make a difference where you are. In whatever way, you are exactly where you need to be. And it's beautiful to honor that, while also knowing that you're continuing to grow into your potential. That you're continuing to manifest your destiny, that you're continuing to seize opportunities and set intentions and targets for you to continue to become more of who you are, to become an even more powerful creator within this dream. So you can continue to share your gifts, share your visions, share your leadership, share your heart with others. So for all of you who are listening to this, for all of us who are listening to this, just taking this moment to honor our collective stories and our individual stories. So just express gratitude in your heart right in this moment, to yourself, to the team, to everyone. Gentle inhale again. Gentle exhale. Feeling the connection between everyone on this call right now. Lights, pillars all across the world, visualizing that very briefly. Just seeing that grid connecting, strengthening with each breath. And just take a couple more breaths here at your own pace. Big exhales if you need it. And gently, when you're ready, slowly, you can begin to open your eyes, return your awareness to the space around you. Awesome, awesome. Beautiful. So thank you again to everyone for being here, for holding this space together as a team, to be able to see what it is that we are continuing to create. And that's part of the excitement in this. Is that yes, as much as we can be able to create the container, there's still going to be that spontaneity. There's still going to be that element where we, as individuals here on the call, here at the roundtable, have the opportunity to be able to answer the question of how are we showing up? How are we shifting consciousness? So if you were on the call today, what would you talk about? What would you have to share? And again, everyone has something to say. whether it be through the videos you're making, through the art that you're creating, or perhaps even just something related to the projects or the topics rather that you are researching, the things you are learning, the synchronicities you are experiencing. So again, we're going to move into this. I want to be able to just reflect briefly on, again, the importance of conscious media and why that is something so pivotal to this project. And then from there, we're going to pass it over to Tamara, and Tamara is going to talk a little bit about the ways that she's helping shift consciousness. And if we do have other people joining in on the fly, we'll be able to invite them on as well. So right now, the immediate people who are on the call at this moment are members of the co-op. So if we do have members who are from the co-op who would like to join, you guys have the priority first in line. And then once there are spots open, we will begin gently inviting other people, again, to be able to share how they're helping shift consciousness within the context of this broadcast. So again, this is exciting stuff. I love doing this. I love being here with you guys. I love being able to just be able to create this space where we can hype each other up, to be able to receive and create this media medicine, to be able to help document our ongoing story through shared dialogue, through the power of broadcasting, through the beauty of technology. And so this is a part of the reason why conscious media is so important, because in today's day and age, too often than not, we're living somebody else's story. We're living some sort of story that maybe we read on the internet, or some sort of story that was passed on to us by our parents or our grandparents. And this really is about shifting the paradigm. And part of that shifting the paradigm comes with the empowerment that goes hand in hand with telling our own story. So not only documenting our story, but literally telling our story, which is literally what we are doing here right now. And again, the story that we are creating through this idea of inspirational conscious media is the story of those of us who have literally shown up here on Earth at this time to be able to take part in this very important process of history, to be able to help assist with the shift as much as possible. And there's something very important that I want to be able to share with you in terms of like why I do what I do. And the other day I was reflecting and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm like, okay, you know, what am I creating? Like, yeah, I got this like sweet ass like website that I've been working on. I've got so many amazing people that I'm connected with. I've been creating videos on YouTube. I've been inviting people. I've been helping other creators, helping feature their content, bringing people together in super powerful, inspirational ways. I'm like, okay, I'm leading people. That's what I'm doing. I'm leading people. I am a leader. That is essentially what I'm doing. But then I take things a little bit further and I really dig into that question. I'm like, okay, if I'm a leader, where am I leading people to? And that question really stuck with me. And I'm like, okay, I want to sit with this for a minute. And then even in that moment, I was like, okay, first, like obvious answer is the right answer. And so even though I saw it with it, I thought and I saw it with it, sat with it. And then eventually the answer that I came to, the obvious answer that is very powerful. And I want you to hear this because this is essentially what all of us are doing. I want you to be able to receive this as a gift, to give yourself more context as to who you are and what it is that you're doing. But what I am doing as a leader and what you are doing as a leader as well is we are literally leading people back to their own heart. And so just let that sit in for a second, right? Because sometimes we kind of think about this idea of like, oh, we're leading people to a place, to a specific vision, to a specific thing that we have to do, some sort of objective. But that objective, as simple as it is literally the objective of leading people inwards, of leading people back into their own heart. Because the fact is, out of all the years that I've been like working on helping change the world, I've seen so many different ways in which the world needs assistance, and so many noble people standing up and being guardians, being light guardians, to stand for the things that they wish to see more of in the world. You know, things like justness, things like clean food, things like equality, things like more creative expression. And these are all very powerful. And yet amongst the entire spectrum of all the things that are constantly being done and the things that we are constantly doing, the one consistent thing, if you're just like thinking, you're like, okay, you know, like sometimes those ideas, they can seem so big to tackle. Like, how do I solve all these problems? Yet the solution is and always will be to lead people back to their own heart. And so that is what we are creating through the power of inspirational media. Through the power of conscious media, we're creating things that are literally inspirational, entertaining, educational. We're creating the context of the community coming together. We're creating the vision of people knowing that even between these broadcasts, you are going out there, you are helping change the world. You are literally helping change the world by how you wake up in the morning, by how you transform your own challenges into strengths, by being able to transmute your shadows, if we want to even be able to look at it that way, and just really being able to feed yourself what it is that you need, to let go of excuses, to be able to see where it is within your life that there's a story there that perhaps can be changed. And once we start changing the story, and instead of just being like, oh, like this world's going to poop and things are doomed and oh, blah, da, 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 da. Instead, it's just like, this is a time where the world needs people like you and me more than ever. We have a purpose here. We have something that we can offer. And what we can offer is literally by bringing ourselves to our own heart, so that in turn we can bring others to their heart as well. And when we bring ourselves to the heart, again, that is a metaphor, that is symbolism. It is bringing people back to compassion, but it is also bringing people back to the heart wisdom. It is bringing people back to a deep understanding of our shared connection, our shared unity, the deeper understanding of the idea of realizing that we are multidimensional beings. And very simply put, this is about being able to help empower people, to be able to help remind them of the power that they have as dreamers within this dream, as we commonly say. So again, it is an honor to be able to be here amongst team, amongst tribe, amongst community, sharing the ways in which we are helping shift consciousness. So I'll share a little bit in terms of the new broadcast that I've been starting up on Instagram, Waking Up with Wolf. I'll tell you a little bit more about that if you don't know it yet. And again, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some really cool stuff related to virtual reality that's been happening here in London, Ontario, Canada. And also from there, we'll just kind of continue to invite more people on, and we'll let the conversation go where it needs to. And within the context of 90 minutes, we will wrap things up with a short meditation at the end. And if anybody, open invitation, if anybody has any poetry, any inspirational poetry, or even spontaneous flowetry that they want to do during the broadcast, a message of inspiration that they want to be able to share, to be able to gift to the team, absolutely, you're more than welcome. So let's begin the next step of the team roundtable. Now that we've kind of got the space here, and you can visualize in your mind, in your heart, all of us sitting here, and we got like our light guardian armor on, metaphorically, literally, spiritually, and we are here. We're seeing each other in the eyes. We are united. We are inspired. We know that we return to this table, and we continue to, we leave it, and we come back. And so between this broadcast and next broadcast, go out there, change the world. State the obvious, we're encouraging people all the time to do things like do free hugs, to be able to create physical paradigm shift communities where you are, which hosts regular open-minded discussion meditation circles. This is the role of a shifter. This is the role of a light guardian. This is something that you too can do. So other than that, we'll get into more of the details as the broadcast unfolds. If you haven't yet, please be sure to check out the Paradigm Shift Central website to be able to see the new additions to it and begin exploring there. There's already like infinite amount of content there related to the past broadcast, related to the videos, related to the randomized videos, and you'll also see the new entries there as well, including a really cool one about a chakra lecture presentation, which you can check out, which correlates to what I'll be talking a little bit later about Waking Up with Wolf. So in the meantime, thank you again to everyone. And Tamara, let's pass it over to you, and we can hear a little bit about how you're helping shift consciousness, and as well we can just kind of chit chat, and as well you can also talk about, why conscious media is important to you, why you feel it's important. And yeah, let's do this. So Tamara, I'm going to bring up the audio on your microphone, and when you're ready, passing the talking stick over to you. And thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for holding this space once again. And thanks to everybody for joining us.
As we just give this a second, due to the fact
important to me. We are working to. Can you hear me? Okay.
It did glitch out there for a second, so just go ahead and restart.
Okay, restart again from the beginning.
Yeah, very simply.
Okay, so media medicine is really important to me because I've realized that as much as I try to live outside of the matrix, as we call it, doesn't stop the matrix from consuming the world around us and consuming it on a global scale. And it's very important for us to use those tools that the matrix has used against us to brainwash us into believing a certain social construct we can use those tools, we can use them to interrupt people's day and show them that there's this different way of living it, that they don't have to subscribe to the beliefs that have been put before them. They can choose a different path. But I remember being, in 2001, going through these sort of things. There was no conscious media out there, and it was really isolating and lonely and confusing. So the more media that we put out, the more people can find their light and really start to shine and really start to grow and heal. And some of the stuff that I'm doing, I guess we'll go on with that.
Yep.
My Instagram's kind of taken a little bit of a break at the moment. There was just some stuff I needed to shift around in my life, but I do enjoy making small little practical ways of adapting your life to be spiritual, little like tools you can put in your spiritual toolbox to help you get through the different fluctuations that we experience energetically with astrological things, solar flares, stuff like that, ascension flus. So I'm always trying to show a different way and show support to people who, may not be able to be positive that day. It's something that I really embrace, is learning to love all aspects of yourself, including your shadows. I think that that is something that kind of gets forgotten a little bit within the spiritual community, that those parts of you are okay. So I'm really a promoter of accepting yourself as a whole person and always trying to improve and be better than you were yesterday. I have started recently with my partner Ogana a podcast called The Conscious View, where we will start talking about anything and everything, but always from the point of view of consciousness, where we have knowledge that there's more out there than what we have been told, and that we have to be careful with our thoughts and our energy signatures, because we do leave a print wherever we go, including with our words and our impressions that we leave with people. So that's what our show is all about. And it's we release episodes on Sunday morning at 11:11 Central Standard Time. And then Mondays we do a Q&A, just in case somebody had a question about the topics that we brought up, or any question whatsoever. We just want to be available to anybody who has questions, because we've gone through the process and we have a great deal of experience now interacting with people who are like-minded. We have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the community. So we have tips and tricks to offer people to make it a little easier for them. And if not, we can send them in the right direction, because we've networked enough to really have kind of like a contact list of specialties. If you're dealing with something to do with relationships, I would send you to the Now Collective. If you wanted to learn more about money, I would send you to the Spiritual Investor. It's really neat, the co-op that we've been creating together.
That's yes, and again, like, there's a lot of people who are listening to this who have not seen what it is that you're creating so far. So Tamara, go ahead and just let them know where they can find you on Instagram and as well as on YouTube.
Sure. So on Instagram, you can find me at Shine Bright Earthling. You can also email me any questions there as well. That's kind of serving as The Conscious View on YouTube. shinebrighthearthling@gmail.com is serving as our email for that at the moment. And you can also find us on audio. We have started to download all of our podcasts onto Anchor apps. So that, I believe, reaches iPod or iPodcasts as well. So yeah, The Conscious View and Shine Bright Earthling.
Beautiful. Awesome. And again, like, for the people who are joining us who don't really, like, just to be able to create the context here, again, there's the Conscious Media Co-op, which is like those of us who have literally been working over the past month. It's a small group of us, and it's going to be a group that's going to be continuing to grow over the future. But we've been checking in, we've been having weekly meetings, we've been talking about the conscious media that we're creating, the intentions that we're setting, sharing tips and tricks, and also, again, people through there are starting to have their content featured through the main website as we continue to create momentum there. So Tamara, huge thumbs up on just getting things rolling, because again, like, I can literally remember where, even just the idea of you and Ogana doing your podcast was literally just an idea. It was just an idea, and now you're literally, like a few episodes in, you guys have been doing the Instagram live broadcast. And what's beautiful about this is that, by putting our message out there, by putting our vibration out there, by putting our signal out there, it literally changes the reality, and so the idea of like you doing it versus you not doing it, you can see how you doing it has has created like interaction, has created opportunities for more people to be able to see guidance, for more people to be able to connect with each of you on a personal level. So just checking in, like how has like the feedback been so far, even though it's still like in the preliminary stages? How has the feedback been from people who have been able to tune into your broadcast? Do you get those like every now and then where it's someone who's like literally just like, oh my god, like I needed to hear that type response type thing?
Absolutely. That's something that you become in sync with what's going on the more that you become habitual with your spiritual practices. Everything kind of moves in groups. So we're very tapped into what the collective might be experiencing. That's something we try to adapt if necessary. We're very flexible with our content because if we notice that there's like a theme going on that needs to be addressed, we will try to do an episode for that. That's something that I try to do with my Instagram posts, is try to go with the themes of the week because I can see what people may be struggling with. So I will specifically try to create memes and content that's going to offer some sort of value or some sort of light or some sort of comfort through that. And it's something that you just become aware of the more that you are creating because you just learn to pay attention.
Totally. And again, like even just us talking about this here, like this is a great opportunity to literally just be able to plant the seed for anybody listening to this. If you're listening to this, odds are you have an Instagram account probably already, and you maybe already have a YouTube account. And so just like know that you have your own unique reach to people out there in the world. And so if this is something that you feel called to do, just being able to again help lead people back to their own heart by posting up inspirational videos, by posting up inspirational content, by making things that are going to be able to help make them reflect, and just kind of like living your own example by being your own brand. These are very, very powerful ways to be able to help just kind of again create the momentum, create the collective monkey effect. I mean, it's kind of interesting, and we've kind of talked about this before even in the production meetings for the co-op, but we're kind of moving into this era where like everyone is kind of more stepping into the teacher student mentality, and it's very much like kind of like this process of teaching people to teach themselves, to teach people to teach themselves, to teach people to teach themselves kind of thing, which is essentially, like that's like one of the most important gifts that we could ever give someone, would be like the ability to teach them like how to love themselves and how to be able to manage on their own accord, and then through there they can just like help other people continue to do that. And again, it's like moving people into more of that sovereignty as well. So go ahead. Yeah. No, absolutely, please do.
Some people out there don't want to be in the limelight, and that's understandable. You don't have to be an evangelistic kind of warrior spirit to raise consciousness. You can do this just by changing your own life. Changing your world, therefore, changes the world around you. So, really healing yourself and doing your self work and just being a shining light in your life, like a shining example where your vibration is maybe higher than those around you. Maybe you live in a very dense area, but as you raise your vibration, naturally that will affect the energies around you. So even just living your best life and devoting yourself to your practice and just being you 100% authentically you, whatever that may be, and that alone can help change the consciousness. It's about knowing your truth. So it doesn't have to be going out and posting. But if you are, I mean, we are bombarded all the time by messages of what life is supposed to look like. And if we can get enough people on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, posting even just positive things instead of propagating the negative narratives, that alone can interrupt somebody's day. Instead of seeing political posts or maybe dark humor or stuff that's a lower vibration, if you're posting something super positive or something encouraging or something inspiring, that interrupts people's day and people will stop and think, and even that little bit of thought is enough to change somebody's vibration.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Tamara. And again, just kind of checking in, and we actually do have Josie recently joined, so Josie's going to be able to jump in a minute. And again, I'm just kind of taking a few moments here to talk a little bit again about like the ways, for the ways specifically how we are helping shift consciousness as conscious media creators. This is a very important discussion to be able to have, because essentially we're at that point in age where anybody can be a conscious media creator. Anybody like has these tools. Anybody has the opportunity to be able to help lead by example and impact the bigger story that it is that we are telling, which again is like one where it's like about empowerment, it's about remembrance, it's about unity, it's about metaphysics, it's about spirituality, it's about transformation, it's about alchemy. All of these like very, very, very powerful concepts that people are starting to dig into. And so we need to be pillars so that when more people kind of begin to start asking questions about these, they'll have people to go to. And that can be us, or maybe we'll be able to, as even Tamara was saying, maybe we'll know someone better who we might be able to point them in the direction of. So each of us kind of has like our unique skill sets, our unique perspective, our unique way of being able to share information, talk about things, hold space. It's very, very powerful. So one of the things that I think I lost my train of thought there actually, but that's okay. Yeah, so let's just be able to check in. I just wanted to be able to check in with you, Tamara. How's it? And we'll see if Josie's there. We'll pass it to Josie in a second. I think she may be there, but she's just not on camera, which is totally cool. But just being able to check in with you, Tamara, as we begin to move to the next person. How do you feel? How do you like? How do you feel? What's the best way to? What am I trying to say here? Words. Okay. How have things changed for you since you've kind of been stepping more into your role as an intentional conscious media creator? Do you feel yourself kind of like stepping into like more of kind of like a natural like, yes, this is something I'm passionate about, and it's like serving you simply by allowing you to practice your passion, so to speak? Not to tell you how you're feeling, but I mean, again, that's kind of like it's a common idea, right?
Absolutely. This is something I've denied for a long time. This has been years in the making. I only started my Instagram account in the summer. So this is very new for me, and there's a lot of fears that I had to face, but I can tell this is where I'm supposed to be. There's physiological signs that I get, like the tingles, the crown chakra, and then there's just, it comes so naturally when I get in this flow state. It just starts coming out almost like channeling information, and I know it's something I want to do because that's all I want to do. Is just create things and inspire people and really get it out there, get as much out there as possible so we can reach as many people as possible, because I'm so ready for this new earth that we're heading towards, and it's inspiring to see it happening. I've been in this for a long time. I didn't have like a shake and wake in 2012. Like, this has been going on for me since like probably 2001. So to see so many more people now, it's not just hope, it's just that, not validation either. What is the word? It's like concrete, like this is where we're going, like let's go. I'm ready. It's very decisive now, like let's get there. So it is stepping into something that I was meant to do and seems very natural, comes very easily.
Yeah.
Now I still face like the fears, and there's still some things I struggle with, but I want to do it, and it makes me feel whole.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And again, and it's exciting even from my perspective as someone who is, like my role is helping other people create more of their role as media creators. Well, again, like everyone's doing their own work, but we are here just to be able to support each other and hold each other into that, into that inspiration, into that accountability of just like being like, don't sell yourself short. You're capable of really, really great things. And so I do want to be able to pass the talking stick over to Josie in the next second. It looks like we're having that same glitch with the camera where I can't switch the camera. It will be able to switch in a second. And then again, from there, I'll share some additional updates in terms of like the live broadcasts that I'm doing and how we're getting into some new routines. But Josie, just as a quick introduction, she is another person who is also within the co-op. And actually, I'm just going to keep doing a long introduction to Josie because until this thing stops glitching out, I actually can't increase her microphone. So allow me to just hype Josie up for at least 30 seconds longer, and then it will eventually work. But Josie has been involved with the Paradigm Shift Central project for a past while. She's a co-op member as well, such as Tamara and several other people who you'll see in future broadcasts. And she's been creating a lot of really amazing videos on YouTube, and you can find her as the Quantum Queen on Instagram. And again, Josie, like, I know everyone's like doing their thing and becoming like their own unique expression as a conscious media creator, so it's been very exciting to see yours continuing to evolve. And I know that there's a lot that you're already offering, and it's exciting just to see the ongoing evolution for the content that you're creating. So let me just see here, is it gonna work? There we go. Okay, cool. Josie, your microphone is now up, so we'll pass it over to you, and you can just
Yay.
say hello. And again,
Awesome.
talk a little bit about, you know, why conscious media, why media medicine, the term that we've been using. Why is this something that you're important, that you feel is important in terms of how you show up to be able to help shift consciousness? So passing the talking stick over to you.
Well, well, thanks, by the way. Hello, everyone. And yeah, I think my biggest motivation is because things like quantum physics and all the things that I talk about on my channel, I just really truly saw even this whole science behind the fact that we are all connected. And the more that I work on myself and, you know, increase my consciousness and make more and really check myself and how I show up in relationships and in society, then it helps everyone. And we really are all connected. I mean, that's not just like a spiritual thing. It's like actually scientific, entertainment, all of that. We're all connected. We're all in relationship with. The big thing I've seen in my life is the more I make a shift and I show up for other people and show them how to embrace these things that maybe they're ashamed of. I mean, coming out of the closet as a light worker is always like the biggest struggle to step out of that. So I think the more of us do that, that show that it's okay to do what you love. It doesn't even have to be what we do. It doesn't have to be about metaphysics. Whatever you are drawn to, whatever you connect with, like embrace that and do that, because everyone has their own unique individual path, and the more that we all embrace our own uniqueness, we encourage others to do the same for themselves, you know. So that's my whole motivation behind doing what I do, is embracing that shame, embracing that, and like running with it. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you again, Josie. And yeah, do you want to just like talk a little bit about, you know, even just like the feedback that you've been getting from people working with them? I know that, and again, using this broadcast totally as an opportunity to just plug yourself, promote yourself, and inviting people to work with you, as well as inviting people to connect with Tamara as well. Like, that's why this platform exists, to be able to support each other. But yeah, like you offer even like one-on-one sessions and things. How has the response been from that? And how do you feel it's like, you know, again, you're learning as you go, so how do you find that you're growing by allowing, you know, these one-on-one sessions and any of the services that you offer as well? So
Yes, I do a combination of things. I mean, I do spiritual coaching, but I've been noticing more and more, especially as I evolve in this work, what my gifts and abilities are. You know, I'm definitely fine-tuning that and seeing exactly what my gifts are, because I've known that I have it, but it's like dialing it in even more. And I feel like the more that you learn that about yourself, even more gifts come in. So you're like constantly learning, like, oh, I have this ability to speak. Oh, I have this ability to create videos and, you know, do all of these things. And so one of the things I do especially is like one-on-one spiritual coaching plus one-on-one like tarot readings. And the growth I get from doing those is inexplainable. I can't even say how much it helps me. And that's why even on my own channel, on my YouTube channel, I've been trying to look for ways where I can really start putting more readings out there to help people, because I'm noticing the more I just give and I follow spirit and really just have that energy of I have so much to give, then the more I help other people, it's just this amazing karma that comes back and forth. So I think that's the direction I'm going in. There's a lot of growth that comes along with, being more of like a spiritual entrepreneur. You're learning boundaries, you're learning, this kind of dissolving fear within yourself. It's like a constant day by day growth process of learning about you and your own vibrations and all of this kind of chemical programming that we've all kind of gone through that distracts us from who
Mm.
we truly love about this process is when I help people, they're also mirrors of myself, and I get to learn so much about me too. And that's what I love the most about being a spiritual coach and a tarot reader and all of that. It's just whenever I get feedback, especially from my clients, from people I work with that say, when they get those light bulb moments, those aha moments, and they see something about themselves that's been in their blinders for so long, nothing can compare to that feeling
Oh, and
when some
there we go.
that makes me feel like everything is worth it, all of the growth and
Hmm.
everything that we
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And again, from having done my own one-on-one sessions, how like just holding space for someone to have that important discussion can literally change their life. Like literally, like in a half-hour period, you can just kind of be able to, maybe there might have been something where they're just like, oh, like no one understands me, but then you can kind of like be in that space just to like hold their story with your heart, and then for them to just
Mhm.
be able to be like, holy crap, like I just went through like 15 years of healing in like a 1 hour conversation, like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, type thing. And I mean, again, every single session is going to be different. Every single thing that someone offers as a coach, as a mentor, is going to be different. But absolutely, being able to understand the benefits of like holding space one-on-one, whether it be on a call, whether it be for people listening to this, whether it be like with your friend, with your family members, like that's incredibly important. There's so much that people are just kind of like battling with on the inside, and they don't need to do that anymore, because again, like there's a bigger story here about how like the things that we're healing through are things that have actually been kind of like given to us with the responsibility to be able to heal, so that as we're doing it, we're like literally healing the planet, and understanding that like the universe didn't give us anything that we can't handle. So really just like for everyone here who's like growing and just like continuing to challenge themselves, like thank you, because like as you're doing that, that literally is you like contributing to healing the planet in this bigger shift in consciousness in that sense. So again, Josie,
Yeah.
thank you very much. And do you want to just do you have any ideas for upcoming videos that you got in the works that you might want to just be able to plug real quick and tell people where they can find them?
Oh my gosh. I
So many
have so
videos.
many ideas. It's insane. Like even today I was going to go out and shoot more videos and I try to just crank out like 5 to 10, but now I'm getting behind on editing and it's like so um yeah, I definitely have a lot of things in the works. One thing like I was mentioning earlier is I'm definitely going to start putting up my own tarot readings for each individual astrological sign, like doing weekly updates, because I feel like that could be very beneficial. I feel like people need that type of guidance. So, I mean, and that's how it is for me. I have my own tarot readers that I love and I watch, and they just give this content on YouTube, and I just think that's incredible of them for people that might not be able to afford to have a coach and things like that. So that's what I definitely want to do, is make sure that I'm giving that type of advice in a way that's a good balance, for both people. But yeah, oh my gosh, I have so many videos that I have to make. I want to do like a whole line of numerology, and because I'm extremely passionate about that.
And give it a second here.
Science
There we go.
aspects with it. That's my biggest passion, is the whole quantum physics. So yeah, I think that's going to be my main focus. Plus, I'm definitely heading more in the direction of coaching on relationships, twin flames, and soulmates and karmics, all of that type of stuff. That's going to be definitely more of the content that I'll be putting out as well, because I've really been seeing that is the thing that people struggle with the most. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what would people search up to find you on YouTube and Instagram, just to
Yeah.
confirm?
They can find me under the Quantum Queen, or just Josslyn Blackwell, but it's Josslyn. But yeah, either one, on Instagram and YouTube. I post both my contents on there. But I think I'm definitely going to be going more in the direction of YouTube and posting more lives and my tarot readings on there. And then just, basic media content on my Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, like that's where like I want to be able to assist, because like I see the value that you're putting out, and like I want to be able to like help more people see that. I want that to be able to like reach more people, because there's like so much content that you have, but a lot of that content we want it to like, it's like I think with this, if like this is almost something for like more of like a co-op production meeting, but if you were to just like allow me to put some ideas out there, I think for yourself, just to be able to kind of like shift focus on kind of like growing your reach as you kind of release new content, opposed to kind of like releasing new content with the reach that you currently have, just kind of honoring the fact that the content that you're creating deserves to be seen by more people. So it's exciting just to be able to be here again with the opportunity to be able to like invite, literally everyone here to be able to check out Josslyn's stuff, as well as Tamara's stuff, as well as other people within the co-op. But yeah, again, Josie, everybody here, you guys are creating good content that deserves to be seen by a lot of people, and that is literally what we're in the process of doing, is creating the momentum, and literally again just sharing your voice, being an ambassador for the content that you're creating as well in this moment. So I want to be able to just quickly invite Tamara and everybody in the chat just to send some love to Josie, and Josie send some love back to Tamara, and everybody send some love to Tamara as well. Just send Tamara and Josie just lots of love, and go ahead, Tamara. I just wanted you to just like give you a chance just to kind of like tell Josie like how proud of you, proud of her you are. You guys are like,
you guys have
yeah.
no idea how much like Josslyn and we talk to each other every night before bed.
Right? I
Yes,
had no idea. So
we like to geek out together. Through my university career, when I took biology and stuff like that, I always got these spiritual downloads during class, and I would connect all these cellular things to spiritual aspects, and I would try to tell somebody in my class, and they would look at me like I had three heads or something.
I love
it. So when I saw Josslyn's content, like I was just like, oh my gosh, somebody that I can talk to these things about who really gets it. And it's really exciting. And I hope to collab in the future with her about the quantum physics aspect. There's some stuff I'd like to go over about and stuff like that, genetic things. I think Josslyn would have a lot to talk about. So she will be definitely guest starring on The Conscious View. So we will let everybody know before she does, because we have a lot of different series planned out. So when we get into the more science and biology and quantum physics stuff, we'll bring in people that maybe know a little bit more than Ogana and I do, just to have some different perspectives, ones that are more informed than ours. And so, yeah, look forward to that. But I truly appreciate what she's doing, because I figured that out in university, all like the missing key. And she seems to be just willing to put herself out there and like show the missing link that they just seem to not be able to get in contemporary and traditional education. So I'm really excited to see what she does. I see big things for Josslyn. So I hold space for her, and I just adore everything that she does, and it's exciting to see what she comes up with next.
Thank you so much. I love you. Dang it.
Good job, team. Cool. All right, so I want to just be able to keep moving things along here, but I did want to be able to get into a bit of discussion with all four of us here as well. And if there is one more person from the co-op who wants to be able to join, please feel free to do that. I think there may have been another person, but we'll just kind of see, because we'll see where the conversation goes. And again, if other people who are looking to be able to join and we don't get you into this broadcast, do not be discouraged. There will be plenty more broadcasts. And again, please also be sure to message me ahead of time if you're interested in being able to be involved with the broadcast. And also a quick plug, of course, if you are interested in being involved with the Paradigm Shift Conscious Media Co-op, there is a process that we have where we will kind of be opening things to submissions, and then through this process we kind of create the opportunity for people to be able to submit the content that they're working on, to be able to talk a bit about why they would want to be able to join the co-op, and then from there they have the opportunity to be able to connect with me. Though this is a bit of just kind of like a process where we're just inviting people in a little bit at a time. But again, if you're a person who wants to be able to help level up their conscious media creation skill, wants to be able to work along a team of other people focused on creating conscious media, wants to be able to help have their content reach a wider audience, and is also willing to be able to contribute a monthly contribution as well, and wants to be able to work alongside me with personal conscious media mentor coach type thing, then please feel free to send me a message on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man, or even just you can even just leave a comment here on YouTube afterwards, and that's fine. And again, even just to let me know that you're interested, and we can just kind of like put you on the list, and then as things open up, we'll again start contacting people as we go. But I did want to be able to get the talking stick passed over to Manders. But before I do that, I just want to be able to share a little bit about the content that I'm working on in terms of, again, like how am I helping shift consciousness where I am. And so again, obviously we're talking a lot about conscious media creation. I obviously have some of that to be able to talk about myself, but I also want to be able to talk about local community events that are taking place that I've been fortunately personally getting more involved with. And so in terms of the community events, I'll just kind of start off a little bit with those. Should I do that first? Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm already talking about it. So the local community events that we've been doing for the past 10 years have been the Paradigm Shift Open-Minded Discussion and Meditation Circles. We've been doing those on Fridays. Back in the beginning of January, I actually decided to take a little bit of a break from that, just to be able to focus more on some of the other aspects of the project, as well as just to be able to give myself a break, as well as with the intention of kind of like, creating the opportunity to be able to really put some more intention towards future events that I wanted to be able to create, because it was kind of hard to create like that next big event if we were always doing a weekly event. And there is like benefits to doing both, but I'm in the process now where I'm just kind of like deciding on what to do future wise for other events. But in the meantime, I've actually been getting a little bit involved with a new business that actually launched here in London, Ontario, Canada, called V Arcadia. So the letter V and the letter R, and then Cadia, Cadia, and the website is varcadia.ca, and you can find them on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And this is actually being run by a good friend of mine, a fellow entrepreneur, Daniel. And what's really fascinating is that like this place is actually, they're really moving towards the idea of using VR to be able to assist in the mental health field, to be able to encourage mindfulness. And so there's actually a really cool event that's going to be coming up. They got a few events coming up actually, but they're doing events coming up where it's actually going to be like live DJ ambient sound healing with VR, which is very, very cool, because again, like VR is kind of like this whole paradigm shifting experience in itself. And this in itself is just something I want to be able to share with you. I want to be able to just like send lots of love to them, because they're creating like amazing space for the community. And like, you can just imagine how even the idea of Google Maps in there, it's literally basically like astral projection, where you're literally just kind of like flying over the landscape. It's so incredibly beautiful. And even the idea of doing tilt brush is one of the games where you're like artistically drawing in 360 space. It's like so incredibly amazing. So there are people there that are just kind of coming in there just to be able to do it for like the mental health benefits, to be able to be in that space where they can just kind of like focus on one thing at one time, or just to be able to kind of like have that, not like escapism, but just somewhere that they can go that is a little bit different from the busy everyday life. So huge shout out to them for what they're doing. And what I'm also getting involved with is also the creation of 360 VR meditation. And so this is actually something that I've been playing with some demos. There have been people that have actually tested this, and there has been like feedback on it where people are just like, whoa, this is really cool. And basically what it is a 360 video on YouTube. So it's not actually like a whole game, but it's a 360 video on YouTube that is using specific animations that I've created or other people in the community have created. If it's within the co-op, we have the opportunity to kind of like cross over graphics and work together like that. That's part of the amazing things of being a team. And also through this, I have like the included audio of me doing the guided meditation. So I'm just telling you this because this is literally something that is going to be released in the coming future for Paradigm Shift, and you'll see it through the Paradigm Shift Central main website as well as on my YouTube channel. And so I do want to encourage people to get like those VR goggles, but just like the cardboard glasses type, or not even the cardboard ones, but like you can get better plastic ones for even just less than $20. Honestly, I would invite you to invest in one of those. If you happen to come across it, you'll probably be able to find it at like a Best Buy or a Walmart or a Staples or something. And again, if it's a cheaper one for only $20, you put your phone in it and then you just kind of like wiggle some knobs on it, and then you'll be able to like have that experience of watching a video on YouTube in 360. And what I actually want to do, this is like the basically one of the main things that I'm just super hyped to be able to share with you guys, is the idea of actually doing 360 VR meditation. And so it would literally be like me doing one of my guided meditations, but with you wearing VR, and also me being able to like VJ rather, the VR as it is happening. So I'd literally be able to like theoretically like create VR content as it is happening and stream it into that feed. So this is like I've never seen this done before. But again, for me, the idea of just kind of like beginning to get ready for VR and even AR, augmented reality, is incredibly exciting. And then also being able to just like bring that more into the ways that we connect as a community, and to be able to even just do like casual 360 broadcasts as a community. So stay tuned for that, because we're going to be playing around with it in the future. But again, also just go out and get one of those plastic VR mobile goggles if you have the opportunity to, that way so you'll have it ready to use once the VR meditation is going to be released in the future. So other things in terms of the content that I've been creating, recently really been getting back into my Instagram, creating some content there. Actually, I just created, this is kind of funny. Like I created a content today of like these two characters on my Instagram, again, at Mystic Spider-Man, for those who aren't already following it. And I literally just created, it's hard to explain. It's like a sketch drawing of two little alien characters that I've created. And this kind of came from me just being like, okay, I want to create like a little comic that I can kind of bring my voice into, or bring life into these characters. And so this is in itself, again, it's hard for me to even just explain it over audio, but if you check out my Instagram, you'll see it. And like literally like this, it's not as funny if you're not looking at it, but there's like one alien who's kind of white, and then another alien who's kind of black, and then one alien saying to the other, he says, "Do you think there is more to life out there in this infinite vastness of this reality?" And then the other alien says, "I'm just a drawing of an alien. I can only hope so." And so it's like intentionally very meta. And I've already made like 5 or 6 of these, and I don't even know if I want to spoil them, though I may just spoil one just to give you a bit of a context. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to spoil one, and then you'll see this release probably like in a week from now. But again, it's like one alien, and basically I like change each one so it's a little bit different. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because like honestly, like you guys could create your own comics too, but I'm kind of just keeping it very simple where it's the text that changes. But again, it's like this wholesome meme. And one of the aliens, he's like floating in space, and he says to the other one, he says, "What is the nicest thing someone has done for you?" And then the other alien says, "They taught me how to love myself." And like, I don't know, like maybe I'm the only one who finds it funny, but personally, I think like other people are just going to be like, I don't know. Hopefully it will make them smile. And again, it's just kind of like me getting into this process of being creative with being able to create conscious content in a variety of ways. Yeah, sometimes we're creating like inspirational videos that are super hype and just like poetry and like flashy editing. And sometimes it's just like a very casual alien meme. So I'll just like hold it up to the camera there in case you can see on camera there. I know it's like kind of blurred out and stuff, but yeah, you can basically see. So if anybody, this is like totally obscure reference. If anybody ever saw the comic on the internet back in the day, which I guess is still on the internet, it was basically just called Dinosaurs. That was like kind of my inspiration from it, where it was basically like the same frame every single time, and the only thing that changed was the text. But you'd be surprised how powerful that is. And again, just kind of like being able to bring in ideas through that platform is very, very, through that meme, through that medium is very fun. And I'm looking forward to being able to share that a little bit more with you. So that's just, again, some of the stuff that I'm working on. But also, again, getting ready to be able to create events for my community. I'm actually planning a special screening for my friend Roy McDonald. Some of you would actually remember the name Roy McDonald from way back in the day. He's a friend of mine who passed away a year ago, and I actually made a documentary of him that's on my YouTube. If you look up Our Friend Roy, you can see it. And so I'm actually like planning a screening of the documentary coming up in my city on February 23rd at the Baker's Dozen for anybody who's interested, from 6 until 9 p.m. And yeah, that's just kind of like another opportunity to be able to bring people together about a man who was like very passionate about helping change the world. Like he was like shifter before we were here type thing. So other things in terms of stuff that we're creating, lots more things coming through the pipeline. And of course, the one thing I did just want to mention here, and then we're going to pass it to Manders, and then I actually want to be able to talk about something very important. This is where I actually want to be able to chat with all three of you to just to be able to get some feedback on this and just be able to hold space for this as well. But I wanted to be able to just mention that for those of you who haven't already seen yet, we've actually begun a new daily broadcast Monday to Friday, an inspirational rising meditation show that we're doing called Waking Up with Wolf. And you can watch us on my Instagram or on my YouTube or on my Facebook. And this is basically getting into the practice and the routine of starting your day off with intention, doing some basic stretching, and also really focusing on chakra meditation, which is a very, very powerful concept because it is literally like an exercise. So if we literally exercise the chakras every day, not just by doing mantras, but also by focusing on the virtues associated with each mantra, this in itself will like open us up to more direct experience, be it within just how we experience everyday life, as well as how we experience and interact on the astral plane within our dreams. So if anybody is just hearing this and they're just like, hey, like I want some of that, I want to be able to experience more what this reality has to offer, then swing on by for one of our live broadcasts or check out the recordings as well. And again, you can find that on Instagram, YouTube, and on Facebook every Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the feedback on it has been really great. Again, just being able to create that routine and that ceremony is very important, in the same way that we create this routine with these broadcasts as well. So there is other stuff that's going to be coming up, including another show that's going to be broadcasting Monday and Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be almost like a mini version of what we're doing here, which is going to be called Leading the Shift. And that's going to be a quick interview with people on Instagram in a short 20-minute format who are talking about the ways in which they're helping shift consciousness. And that's going to be at 3:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And stay tuned for that as we get ready to roll into that, presumably as early as next week. So like I said, let's get ready to continue to pass the talking stick around. And I'll pass it over to Manders, and Manders, who is, again, another member of the Conscious Media Co-op. It's just such an honor to be surrounded by amazing people such as yourself. We're going to pass it over to her, and she's going to talk a little bit about the ways in which she is helping shift consciousness. Again, obviously focusing on conscious media, but anything else related to what she wants to share. And even just, again, reflecting on the importance of conscious media from your perspective. So Manders, thank you again for being here, and passing the talking stick over to you. And when you're ready, go right ahead.
Hey guys. Well, thank you so much for making this space for us again. I think everyone is really enjoying themselves, even in the chat. So yeah, I've been pretty busy lately. And one of the things about the co-op that has been super helpful is that it gives me a lot of inspiration and organization to kind of bring everything together. And even like this morning, I was able to kind of bounce some ideas off you and get some feedback and stuff. And so that's really, really been helpful, because sometimes we can get a little stuck even in, our personal lives. And what I was going to say too is that I think you and Tamara were talking about this a little bit, but really what I have found is that this everything that I'm doing in the co-op has completely leaked into my entire life. Like it's kind of changing how everything is working in my whole life. Like, opportunities are coming, and I feel like I'm able to kind of have more perspective on things, and I feel like I'm paying attention better, and I'm organizing better, and I'm aware. And yeah, so it just kind of encompasses a lot. As far as what I've been working on with media, conscious media, sharing the shift in Instagram has been a big one for me. I've been a big fan of Instagram. I feel like a lot of people were just like, oh, Instagram, yeah, it's whatever. But I love Instagram. Like, I love sharing photos and ideas. And so lately, what I've started doing is creating inspirational and conscious memes. And then also, I've even been able to use it for things like for myself too. Like, I was trying to kind of realign my chakras and get like more understanding of what that entails. And so I uh of Instagram posts where I did some artwork from some amazing artists, and then I had, some meditations and some chakra info and stuff like that. And I think I've seen other people do that. It's not just helping others, it's also helping so Instagram has been a big thing for me, and I've been really excited to be able to compile some fun stuff. It gives me stuff to work on and share. I am trying to get back on Facebook. I've talked to you guys a little bit about that. I created a Facebook group a while ago, like a local group by my region here, and that's something that I kind of didn't get a ton of what's the word, interaction on. And so that's something that I'm thinking about trying to reconfigure and figure out how I can get more involvement in that. So I should turn that right into my free hugs. So I'm definitely really stoked to start doing free hugs again. And with free hugs, I have quite a few people because I posted on social media where my friends and stuff were like, what is this free hug stuff? Like, what are you doing? And and so I've been able to recruit some people that I'm going to have join me on doing some group free hugs coming up here. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see. I'm really focused on my business. And one of the things that was super in sync with you, Brendan, is rebranding. And I needed to rebrand my business and revamp everything. I've been able to use what I'm learning in the co-op with my business because I want to somehow merge them both because I do tarot and oracle readings, which is something that I'll hopefully do with you guys. I always give my first reading free, and then after that, it's just whatever you can donate or $10 or trade or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of merge the two businesses because I also am a hairstylist and I'd like to be able to work from home, which I've been really lucky to do. Let's see, conscious media. I'm working on blogs. I've got a couple in the works. I've already posted one on the website. And the one on the website is about a minimalist lifestyle. And it's just kind of an introduction to kind of give you an idea of ways that you can uh, kind of make sacred spaces and really be more conscious about what your surroundings are. And then also how, practices and life changes that I've used for minimal stuff. Let's see. So a big part of being a part of this shift is that I'm raising the next generation of light guardians, which a lot of you are, a lot of people are watching. Like, we are raising the next generation. We are setting the example, and just keeping that in mind with everything that I do. And somebody asked something, I think it was this morning or the other day, of like something to do with motivation, and like one of the things that inspires and motivates you. And being a mother is a huge motivation. And even if you're not a mother, you've got nieces and nephews, you've got cousins, you've got, by the next generation, regardless of if we're their parents or not. And so we are setting the example for that next generation. And they're really excited about it. I know, what's her name? Anna's little boys are like obsessed with Brendan and his lightsabers and stuff. And like, as they get older, they're going to be really, into all of this, I'm sure, because they're going to grow up with it. So, just thinking about that, how we are opening this up for the next generation. And they're very lucky too, because they have us. We're lucky to have each other. Next thing I'm working on, I'll soon be doing some energy videos, and I'm collaborating with quite a few people in the co-op, um, do content, and like researching, like me and Tamara, we're going to be working on some stuff together. Yay! And then, Shauna and I are creating a YouTube channel here soon for divination and monthly energy. We haven't even fleshed it all out yet, but just like Ogana and Tamara, we're like in the infancy of getting that worked out. So we're going to be doing that soon, and that's really exciting. Other than that, it's just, being here and showing up every day.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Awesome. Well, you're doing it, Manders. So
I have.
you are. We are.
Oh yeah, and I'm your fairy shift mother. Don't forget that.
Fairy shift mother.
And I'm Instagram. You can find me at Loving Ferociously.
So there you go, everyone. Look up Manders on Instagram, and you'll be able to connect. And honestly, you can also find her, as well as other people. Once we continue to get things set up on the main website, you'll be able to find her on the main website, not only with her entry, but also under the team Instagram as well. Some of those posts are going to be hers as well. So cool. Awesome. Sweet. Well, again, I want to be able to just kind of honor the fact that I think we're probably almost at 90 minutes now, coming up on it. And I want to be able to just kind of like segue into a couple other things before we get into wrapping up this broadcast, as well as just kind of like a little bit of open discussion related to a particular topic that I want to be able to talk to you guys about. To actually be able to set that up, I want to be able to even just talk about a little bit of shiftivism that I was up to earlier today, literally before I came into this broadcast. And it was very much on the spot. And again, shiftivism is the act of intentionally helping shift consciousness through is the act of intentionally helping shift consciousness through creativity and compassion. And I went to the library to do some work, just to do work related to the project, and there was a discussion group that was actually happening, and it was like a discussion for kind of like world events and society and things like that. And I went into it, and it was like all elderly people, like everyone there was like over, at least like in their, well, I guess there was probably one person in their 40s, but like everybody else was like, like over 60 and things like that. And when I went in there, they were just like, oh my God, it's a youngin's here. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, apparently I'm like the only youngin that's like walked into this thing for like eons. So it was really interesting just to kind of like get in there and to be able to talk with them about certain topics. One of the topics that actually came up was the topic of like water fluoridation, because that's actually like an issue here in our city. And that was really interesting because that was like something that me and my friends were like really into back when it was like in City Hall in 2011, and we were talking about that. Now from the wisdom that I have, like long story short on fluoride, and I'm not even like putting this on the table to talk about it. I'm just kind of like, oh, here, have this. This is kind of like what makes sense. I feel that the answer to fluoride is that if we could afford not to use it, then we shouldn't. But if we can't afford not to use it, then we should. And so the actual issue isn't water fluoridation. The actual issue is diet and also like wealth and how our society is structured. For example, if people had like better diet and better access to regular food and better wealth to be able to afford better food, then they wouldn't have to have like the idea of using fluoridation in their water to be able to prevent them from getting cavities because of the crappy food that they're eating. So anyways, I just kind of threw that out there, and like a lot of them were just like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting hearing them talk about it, because they were just kind of talking about it very simply from like, I don't know, they just had like this very kind of perception in it, and I'm just like, here, let me just like shift the paradigms here. And I was just like, oh, this isn't about water fluoridation. This is actually about solving our food and being able to create a better society where we don't need water fluoridation because we're actually eating proper food, that we don't have to worry about cavities in the first place. But even if we are drinking water even if we are drinking fluoride, honestly, for anybody drinking fluoride right now, don't even worry about it too much. To counteract that, if you feel it's like impacting you, focus on eating a good diet and exercising and getting all the other things that your body loves and everything like that. And the water fluoridation will be kind of just like, you know, in the background or whatever, but you'll still be able to thrive even if you're living with water fluoridation. So anyways, I just want to throw that out there. I know you guys love talking about water fluoridation anyways, but we started talking about other stuff. And it was really heartfelt. There was a woman next to me, and she was kind of like an older hippie woman, and she was like openly kind of talking about, she was like, at one point we were talking about politics and stuff, and she shared this John Lennon quote, and she was like talking about like how if you want, if I forget what the quote was, but it was basically something like, if you want war to end, then make it so, or something. Like, it's basically saying that, like, if you want peace, be peace type thing. And during the break, I had this very heartfelt moment with her where she was just kind of talking about how she was like, oh, you know, like, sometimes I feel myself really trying to like expand my mind, but I can feel other people kind of trying to tell me not to do that and telling me what to do. And I was just like, honestly, like, I think what's important for you is to honor the fact that, like, this is something that is important to you and this is your own path, and people telling you to keep your mind closed is only a reflection of where they are at, and your purpose is actually to hold compassion where they are as well, and then still honor what is best for you in that moment. And she, like, literally just kind of in that moment, she was like, oh, like, thank you, like, I needed to hear that, like, I needed that reaffirmation. So kind of what we were talking about before with, like, the power of one-on-one sessions and coaching and stuff like that, like, literally me just kind of like saying something to her that was really reaffirming, like, totally just like kind of bonded us in that moment. And then I ended up giving her a shift button, and she was like super happy about it, and it was really beautiful. And so what I actually wanted to be able to just kind of set things up here, and then also segue into like I said, there's a very important something that I want to be able to talk about. Well, it's also a very serious thing related to community, and we're going to talk about it maybe for at least like a little bit, and then we're going to wrap up the broadcast with a closing meditation. But I wouldn't it's important. That's why I want to be able to bring it up. But basically, within the discussion that we were having there are a few other things that came up, and I was talking about stuff and everything. But one of the things that came up as well was the topic of death. And this was actually something that I brought into the circle as well. It kind of came up first and like I was thinking about it. And then I kind of like was asking people there. I was like, you know, I was just like, I'd be very curious just to kind of like hear people's thoughts about death, and knowing that that's like a very like charged topic and everything. And then I kind of like shared a bit about my own perspectives on it, just like the idea that, you know, like death, one of the best ways that I can think about death is the idea of like taking off a tight boot. And I talked a little bit about like this is just one plane of existence, and we actually exist like in the higher dimensional realms and the astral and things like that, and just kind of putting it out there. And it was really interesting, and this is just kind of a side point, because there was like one woman, and she had her own perspective on it, and she was just like, she's like, death is like is a horrible thing, and it's not spiritual. You don't go anywhere. Like, when you die. And like, she couldn't understand why some people would be at peace with like dying and stuff like that. And so even for me, just to kind of like hear where she was at while still just like listening and not expecting her to need to agree with me, but just honoring her perspective, that was really important to be able to hear that, and just to be able to like hear like her own perspective and her own paradigm of how she was seeing that. But again, you know, for a lot of us, I know that death is actually something that we have a very, sometimes it's a very polarizing topic, obviously, but there's multiple ways to look at it. And I think over my years of having, you know, experienced death in my own ways, I too can kind of like see it as I don't want to just say positive, but there is like a way to be able to see it with a bigger perspective, where you can kind of understand that, again, you know, like a story doesn't end like when a life ends. And then it gets into this idea of like spirit kind of existing on higher dimensional planes and still being able to assist with this ongoing shift in consciousness. For example, if somebody like happened to pass away, you know, some people would kind of talk about this and it'd be like, okay, you know, like they must have kind of like there was a reason for it. And maybe we don't even fully understand what that reason is. And maybe that reason is even beyond our comprehension. But even in the midst of tragedy, there is kind of like this like divine kind of beauty within this process that is taking place, despite the fact, and that doesn't mitigate any of the grief related to all the elements related to death, because it is very real, and all the emotions that we have related to it are very valid and very important. But I did just want to be able to mention this because I wanted to be able to share people news within the community of a friend of ours who actually did pass away over the past couple weeks while we were kind of like in between broadcasts. And the reason why I'm actually doing this is because I want to just be able to give a huge shout out to them. And this is someone that many of you may know, and I want to be able to like hold this space just to be able to like create that support as community. And that's again why like even just like having the other members here, Josslyn, Manders, Tamara, and just kind of be like holding space. And I wanted to just be able to chat a little bit about, like, what are your guys' thoughts on death? But I wanted to be able to give a huge shout out to our friend Dane, and this is Dane. Geez, I feel a little bit embarrassed because I'm going to butcher his last name again. I always butchered it. It's Herndonson or Hernson. It's not Henderson. I know that. But I'm going to post a link actually for his work, and you can find it on SoundCloud. And I actually wanted to be able to share a little bit of his music during the broadcast, just to be able to give, again, like a shout out to him and just thanking him so much, because he is someone who has contributed to the Paradigm Shift community in the past with music and just like so much. Just, I never met him in person, but again, like he was a friend of mine, and I just want to really just be able to like honor like the fact that Dane, thank you so much for being a part of this bigger story, and knowing that, yeah, you're still with us. You're still kind of like influencing us in a way. You're still like, you're not gone. Like nothing is lost, nothing lasts, but nothing is lost. And I still want to be able to like even honor his ongoing creations by being able to like include them into like some of the content that we're still being able to create. Cause like he gave us permission at the time when he was just like being able to say like, yeah, if there's anything that you want, just let me know and you can use it. And so we've been doing that over the years. And so just being able to continue doing that and still being able to work his creations into the ongoing creations that we're creating as co-op members is a very, very, very powerful idea. So not only, and again, and the crazy thing was that even in the last couple of weeks, Dane wasn't actually the only person who passed away. There was actually another friend of mine who passed away as well, and it was actually a woman who is in the Journey to Lucidity movie. And this was like really huge too. If for those of you who have seen the Journey to Lucidity movie, like the first one, there is a woman in the very beginning of the movie who gives me the pine cone, who's kind of like playing the mother goddess role. Her name is Leela Starr, and she passed away as well. She literally passed away like right around the exact same time that Dane passed away. So it was like this crazy kind of like heavy hearted, like, holy crap, what is going on here? And like hers was entirely just like a car accident. So again, even in that, it's just like, whoa, okay, like, that's hard to comprehend. That makes me angry on some way. But at the same time, there's kind of like this sub story where like, was this part of like what her soul wanted? Or is this something where literally this was an accident in reality? Like I had to think about that. I'm like, is this literally an accident? Does that happen sometimes where literally the soul will accidentally die in this reality? Or if my understanding that everything is literally divine and everything happens for a reason, that even her car accident was literally part of her soul path, and now she's kind of like continuing to serve from the higher dimensions, if you want to think about it that way. And for me, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, amongst other reasons, in addition to just like saying thank you to them as well, is because for me, this information continues to inspire me on the mission that we are on together. And I had the same thought come to me even when my friend Roy passed away last year. And it was basically this idea of like, continue the mission, continue what we have started, continue the bigger story that we were both a part of. And so I'm literally saying this because like for all of the people who are no longer here, yet for all of the people that have been a part of this shared mission, thank you. Like, thank you, and let us honor you by continuing to bring more love into this world, by continuing to ripple the intentions that we shared, the visions that we shared of being able to create a better world, create that new earth. And one of the things, and going back to Leela, that was so fascinating is that she openly talked about the idea of like wanting to be reincarnated as like a star child to be able to be born into the world that she was helping create here and now. So like even just that idea is just like, holy crap, like what are we actually experiencing right now on a bigger scale? And can we be open to that idea of literally being able to meet our friends twice in one lifetime? Like, could that actually happen, you know? And theoretically, based on my understanding of the reality, yet obviously understanding that the odds are kind of out there, there is that possibility. And even if we don't know with absolute certainty, we have to kind of assume with certainty within our hearts that that is like the vision that we are creating. That yes, you know, people like Dane, people like Leela, people like all of our friends do have this opportunity to literally come back into the future that we are creating together, that souls can still continue to be a part of this journey. So again, you know, death is not something, it's not really something I've ever really shied away from talking about. I mean, those of you who have like seen me in the past, you know, I've made videos about death in the past, like literally multiple ones like even when Robin Williams passed away. Shout out to Robin Williams. Ones like when my dog Shelby passed away. Shout out to Shelby. Even ones when my grandmother passed away, just talking about my understanding of death in general. And so I wanted to be able to get a little bit of just opening up discussion for the girls here. And we're going to wrap up the broadcast soon enough. And just being able to hear, you know, like what are some of your thoughts on death and what might you be able to say that might be able to like perhaps kind of comfort those who may be listening, comfort those who maybe have gone through their own losses or their own experiences. And then what I want to be able to do is I actually want to be able to play a little bit of Dane's music during this broadcast, so people can actually just kind of, and we may even do that just kind of even just for a closing meditation actually as well. That would be appropriate. So just kind of passing the talking stick around to the other members here. If anybody wants to jump in, I believe Josslyn first. So Josslyn, go ahead. We'll pass it over to you. Any general thoughts on, you know, what we call death? Please feel free to share.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on that. Actually, that was in my list of videos to make, so that's why I'm kind of cracking up because I was going to shoot that today. But I was like, it might sound a little morbid, you know? My views on death. So, and again, I have kind of a different perspective just because of the way I combine different fields of study. But, you know, like our body is already particle based. You know, it was created off of low vibrational emotions. It was created from the amino acids that have been released, like come together. Our brain releases these brain chemicals and they're based around shame, guilt, and fear. Okay, so that's how our body was created. That's why it's so limited in its abilities. And we all have kind of these fears at the core of us. We have these fears of rejection and fears of abandonment. And death is really just kind of like the ultimate fear of abandonment that we have. It's someone that we're attached to. But that's the way I really view death, is that death is just a dissolving away of the low vibrations of us. It's like a kind of merging into the light. All the lowest vibrational parts of us die away, and then we become the infinite part of us. And in quantum physics, we become like a wave. We have all these unlimited amount of abilities and everything. But that's the way I view death now, is that it's something that our eyes and our perceptions, everything like beliefs that society has put into us, is that that's the end, you know, that this person is gone because the physical part of them that our eyes are interpreting as an actual form is gone. But when we go into higher states of consciousness, that's when we hit this ability to be something like gamma rays, or, you know, these high vibrational light. That's what we really are at the core. So when our low vibrational part dies and we go into the full amount of light that we have the ability to be, that's what we truly are. That's the way I view it. It's so hard to put it into words on this broadcast because like I feel like I can't fully explain my whole views behind it. But yeah, so the way I view it, I definitely still have my own fears because I've experienced death in my own life. And so those are definitely things that I've had to approach and look at within myself, is how maybe things from childhood can make us afraid. Again, it's all programming that's passed down to us, all these fears of abandonment and losing people. But it's not truly who we are. It's something that we have to dissociate from and understand that it's not who we are at all. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's my view on death.
I mean, yeah, it's good just to be able to practice talking about it, but no, I definitely like we're bigger than just this life. We're bigger than just this body. And so yeah, death inevitably puts us face to face with that and makes us question, like that's the thing. Like death is there's a lot of mystery to death. In the same way there's a lot of mystery to dreams and to aliens and to all of these other kind of out there topics, but these things, when we look at them and we ask questions, evidently we end up seeing more of ourselves. So it's important to be able to ask these questions and to again be able to create community where things like these are topics where we can at least practice having conversation about them, because I think as a culture, Western culture, we do have this very different perspective than say someone of like native Aboriginal tradition. And how do they view death? Very, very differently. And do they fear it quite in the same way? You look at Buddhist monks, they'll spend their entire life meditating on their death and preparing for death to be able to like move into that next state of experience with their conscious awareness. It'd be like entering into a dream, yet entering into your dream with conscious awareness as well. So again, there's so much to talk about. So let's just and Josie, thank you, and let's just pass it. We'll give a chance for Manders and Tamara, and then again, I just want to be able to play a little bit of Dane's music as part of the closing meditation, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast. So Manders, Tamara, is there anything else you wanted to add in? And give you guys a second. Do Tamara? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting that Josie mentions that it's that ultimate abandonment issue that comes with death. Death has never scared me because I subscribe to beliefs of something out there afterwards. But I could see how somebody who doesn't subscribe to those beliefs, who just maybe thinks that that's it, it's a biological thing, your body is gone, and it's over, how scary death could be. But if we subscribe to the ideology that there are multiple realities and that anything is possible, that also has to extend to the death realms. We're energy. We cannot be created or destroyed, just transformed. So I definitely subscribe to something out there beyond this. And it's the people left behind who are hurt the most. I agree with Josie that we're kind of returned to our most purest state. So for us, but it's to enjoy your presence again, but truly they can enjoy it even a little bit more because it's all around them in an energetic form. But as far as like what I believe and like the ideas that I don't know if we have enough time to go into all those sorts of ideas, but I definitely believe that there's something afterwards.
Yeah, and again, like even when we often experience these experiences of death of someone who we care about, these can be very powerful reminders that we need time and time again to just be able to appreciate the things that we have even more. It just kind of slaps us in the face with that reality of impermanence. And so again, just kind of like seeing that in itself is just like a beautiful gift, where sometimes if something's taken away, it can somehow make what you have left even more, like, not to say it would make it more valuable, but it just changes your relationship with it. So anytime that that we're out there with our friends and our family, just allow yourself to reflect on how grateful you are to be able to have them in your life at this moment, knowing that we don't know what tomorrow will bring. And so let's live each day. Not to say let's live each day as if it was our last type of thing in the cliche sense, but literally let's just live each day with a tremendous amount of gratitude for what it is that we have. And then when we can kind of like be in that heart space, like that's a very, very powerful thing. And again, that helps set an example for others. But let's not wait until something gets taken away in order for us to be reminded of the importance of that practice. So Tamara, thank you. Manders, did you want to share anything? If you would like to, please feel free. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys really summed it up really well. I was literally just typing perspective of live life every day. Like it really does. I think we even talked about this the other day a little bit, Brendan, but it really does remind us that we have to live every day to the absolute fullest. And somebody in our group the other day posted something that really put death in a beautiful perspective as far as comparing to the butterfly process. The caterpillar dissolves in the cocoon and then emerges as a butterfly, and it has no idea what it's doing when it goes in the cocoon. It's not still a caterpillar. It literally dissolves into nothing before becoming the butterfly. And that was a really beautiful way of making that whole connection in a way that makes it really nice to kind of correlate. But really, again, it's just, like everybody said, it's energy returning to source. It's, when you look on the quantum level or the atomic level or whatever, it really is just, we're the ocean in one drop and we're going back to the sea basically, and there's this fear about it, and there's a whole grief process for the people who are left still here on this plane. However, again, just have that perspective of appreciation and gratitude, and living every day is and loving as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Manders. Yeah, and again, like when there's topics that need to come up, we'll talk about them, and unless like what had happened, we may not have talked about this topic. But again, I really just wanted to be able to just like acknowledge this through news and just like let people know. And again, just to send lots of love to Dane, to his family, to Leela, to their family, to anyone out there, to everyone. And again, just being able to thank them for what they have contributed, and for knowing that in a way like they are listening and that they still are part of the ongoing story that we are creating together. So with that said, I want to be able to collaborate a bit with the spirit of Dane in this moment as we just kind of do a little bit of meditation. And so I'm going to have to set this up in a way where the girls in the broadcast, you guys will still be able to hear me once I kind of switch things up in a way where you'll be like hearing the music through my microphone, I think, but nobody else will be able to hear it that way, but then I won't be able to talk over it, so that's okay. So I'm just going to set things up where I'm just going to invite everyone to just kind of close their eyes, and then we're just going to listen to a bit of Dane's music for about 4 or 5 minutes. And while we're in this space, I just want you to focus on your breath and just focus on just like connecting with your own heart, connecting with like the remembrance of those who you love, even perhaps thinking about those who have maybe passed on as well that you would like to reflect on, and just bringing yourself into that space of gratitude. And again, bringing yourself into this feeling of understanding that like the mission continues, and that they are still a part of this mission. So seeing like the bigger super organism that we are, that transcends multiple dimensions. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. So just inviting everyone, relax your shoulders. Moving into this closing meditation, just thanking everyone for being here, thanking everyone for being a part of this circle, this round table, continuing to inspire each other as a team, continuing to help document our story, continuing to help tell the story that we are creating together. Closing your eyes when you are ready, and I'm going to switch things up here, and we're going to begin playing the audio, and for the girls in the chat, you guys will be able to hear it in the next few moments. So again, Thank you to Dane for creating this beautiful music for us to be able to share in this moment. Here it is. So just continuing to breathe here in this moment. Just continuing to connect with our breath. So again, just thanking Dane, thanking Leela, thanking all of our friends, thanking all of those who have literally come before us. Just really feeling the gratitude for all of the things that have had to take place in order for you to be able to be where you are right now, so that you can take those next steps to be able to help make the difference that you came to make here in this world. So deep breath, gratitude, feeling any feels you need to feel, honoring those while also inviting inspiration into your hearts. Let us continue the ongoing work. Let us continue the ongoing play. Let us hold a smile in our heart for our friends who are still with us. Aho. Beautiful. So for everybody in the YouTube chat, if you guys just want to express some gratitude, please feel free to do that. Again, I think even just listening to that music was very, very powerful in itself, because you can't hear music like that without hearing a part of the person's soul. Like literally what you're hearing right there is like their fingers, their spirit, their vision, their cells in that present moment. So it's like, wow, very, very powerful. So again, thank you to everyone for holding space. Thank you to Dane as well. Brother, we love you. And to everyone else, we love you too. So wonderful. So with that said, we're going to get close to wrapping up this broadcast. I just want to be able to invite any of the girls here to just be able to express some gratitude to the team, to the community, and any closing words that they would like to be able to go out on. And then with that said, we will wrap things up. And yeah, stay tuned for future broadcasts. We do have another team roundtable next week. And again, from that point, I want to be able to invite more people on to be able to talk about the ways that they're helping shift consciousness. So if you're looking to get in on the next broadcast and be on air, please feel free to let me know well ahead of time. And then afterwards, around February 17th, is going to be another full moon, and we are going to be doing another guided story meditation around that time. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be an exciting one, and that will presumably be on the Sunday or the Monday. So just got to make sure it synchronizes with the full moon as close as possible. And again, be sure to tune into other broadcasts that we got going on throughout the week through Instagram, and as well as all the other stuff that the girls are working on as well. You'll be able to find it through their profiles too. So again, just passing the talking stick around. Josslyn, Manders, Tamara, thank you so much for being here. Whatever order you guys want to unmute your microphones on, please feel free, and we'll pass the talking stick over to you. Again, just any gratitude and closing words. So Josslyn, if you want to go first, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. I always forget. I always get into these hermit modes, and then I'm like, oh, why have I gone away? But thank you so much for having me on here, and I really love being part of the community, other conscious people that are wanting to make a difference, and really really lift the people around us, really unite all of us together. So thank you for providing an outlet for us to do that.
Awesome. Thank you as well, Josslyn. I'm excited to continue to work together. So go team. Awesome. And again, even like, yeah, we're always working together in the bigger picture of things, even when we're like doing the things. So hermit mode or otherwise, we're still working together. So every shifter, let's go where they need to. So totally awesome. Thank you again, Josslyn. And again, we'll make sure that I'll put the links in the show notes on YouTube so that you can find the direct links to Josslyn, Manders, and Tamara's information as well. And again, Quantum Queen for Josslyn, and you can find that on Instagram and on YouTube. Tamara or Manders, if you guys would like to go next. And again, just gratitude as well as any just closing message for the people listening to this as well. So. And Josslyn, if there's something else that you want to add in for the people listening to this, you can do that afterwards as well too. So Manders.
Yeah, I just really wanted to say thank you for honoring Dane, and that music was absolutely like ethereal and magical and beautiful. And wow, I really, really enjoyed that. And then I also just want to thank everybody who's been so supportive, and so many people holding space for each other in this community. And it's been out of this world. It's just been a really, really great experience. It's like a dream come true. I was actually telling a friend yesterday, she was asking how I was, and I was like, literally all my dreams are coming true. I have a community. I told my parents I have a tribe, and they're like, you have a tribe? What? I want a tribe. They have your buttons like all over the house and stuff. They're like super stoked. So yeah, I just want to thank you for creating this space, and uh, seeing it through thick and thin and everything. You've been consistent, and you've been working so hard. So thank you. I really appreciate you, Brendan, and everybody else in the community. Thank you.
Awesome. And yeah, like even beyond the gratitude, any other closing words for the people tuned into this? Just words of inspiration, quick reminders. Follow your heart, follow your nose.
Well, yeah, my motto is heal yourself, heal the world. That's like my motto, or my mantra, I guess, for 2019. Heal yourself, heal the world. And then also, my little tagline is connect, inspire, liberate, because that's what we are doing here.
Dig it, dig it. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you again, Manders. Super proud of you and of everyone. It's great to see you guys continue to grow. So awesome. All right, Tamara, passing it over to you. Go right ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for not just being consistent, but allowing us this space to grow, because a lot of us have started from nothing, have no idea what we're doing. And I'm really proud of how far a lot of us have come, and we've grown together. Our community is very strong, and I really don't know if what we're creating could be as powerful and as potent as it is without the support that we're getting from one another. Because we not just hold each other accountable, we help each other get through our fears, and we help each other navigate these crazy process, and do so in a way that keeps us all shining so bright that we can go and be those light guardians and spread the light and spread the knowledge and spread the access to all of that. So thank you so much for all the hard work you do, because I don't know people who can understand how much we're creating what you do, what we do. And I just really appreciate you holding space for that. And for anybody who's watching, if you've been brought here like us, you are on the path, and we understand that the struggle is real. And please, all of very much open door policies. If you need help, or if you need some advice, like reach out, ask somebody. You don't have to go through this alone. Find your tribe, be brave. And we see you struggling, and we appreciate that you're trying and that you're doing your part to uplift consciousness. So namaste to everybody out there.
Awesome. Thank you again, Tamara. And I'm looking I'm looking forward to like seeing the trend of pretty much like everybody here being interviewed by everyone here on their individual podcasts at some point. Everyone's just like, well, I got a podcast, I got one too, so I guess I could interview you, and then you'll interview me, and then we'll just interview each other. And like, it's basically what's happening. So, but hey, that's all right, because it's all practice. And again, like there's always going to be something. It's always going to reach someone new. It's always going to like get somewhere that it didn't before. So it's all important. So, and again, like us doing this is just like inspiring other people to be like, if I were to make a podcast, what would it be about? Oh man, maybe I'm gonna do it. So listen to that. For all of you out there who are really feeling the call to like start getting your voice out, to start getting into the process of creating, understanding that like you do not have to be an expert at something in order to begin. That is part of the learning process. And again, like I totally see and honor the fact that it takes a little bit of courage and bravery to like put yourself out there. So thank you for like stepping into that. Thank you for wherever you are. But know that like that is like a very, very important and powerful journey. If it is one that you feel called to, there are a million different ways to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. So thank you for doing it in whatever form. Again, be it creating media, be it just like doing your own research, working on yourself, being like a mother to a loving child. Like, thank you so much to all the beautiful mothers and fathers out there. But bonus points to the mothers. I'm going to be a little bit biased here. Bonus points to the mothers. Thank you so much, because us fathers wouldn't be here without the mothers. quite frankly. So you guys get the OG credit on that one. So thank you again to everyone for just like continuing to do all the little things that make the big difference. So I did just want to be able to pass it to Josslyn before we officially wrap it up, just to give her a chance. Any closing message for the people tuned into this as well. So Josslyn, was there one additional thing that you might want to say? Please feel free to do that.
Yeah, same. I mean, definitely it's all about us connecting. The more that people feel like they're not alone and that there are other people out there that are feeling the same and thinking the same, that we all have these similar interests, but that we people out there that care about each other and care about what all of us are going through. So, yeah, like reach out. The more we connect, the more we build this community to be bigger and more loving and supportive, the more we just affect all the other people who might be a little more unconscious or asleep. So that's the really biggest goal, the biggest vision of all is connecting, being there for each other, creating a new earth. I think that's the ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
Utopia.
Thank you, Josslyn. And with that idea again, like I love the tangibility of the idea of like creating heaven on earth in like individual moments. Like heaven on earth can be that moment where you're like literally doing free hugs and you meet a stranger out on the street. Heaven on earth can be like sitting around a fireplace with your family and friends and just being super grateful for that moment. So like without having to think that what we're aiming for is like already in the future, far, far away after thousands of hours of hard work. Again, going back to the theme that we started off the show with, where are we leading people to? We are literally leading people back to their own hearts. And when we do that, that is when we literally find the heaven on earth, literally just by being in this present moment. So as simple as it sounds, as complex as it sounds, again, just, yeah, it's a pretty magical and beautiful thing. So awesome. Cool. Okay, so with that said, I just want to be able to remind and invite people to be sure to check out paradigmshiftcentral.com if you have not yet. Check out the new site. Be sure to explore it and be sure to get in the routine of checking back there as the momentum continues to build. And we're going to be having content coming through there on a regular basis. You'll be able to see entries being created by some of the people here in the broadcast, as well as myself, as well as other members of the Conscious Media Co-op. And in addition from there's already lots of content in terms of like hundreds and hundreds of videos that you can already check out from creators over the years. And there's a really cool feature there where you can check out like the randomized video. So you can literally go on there, click the randomize button, and you'll be able to like bring up a new video spontaneously in the moment. It's like kind of like drawing a tarot card. It's very cool in that sense. And of course, you can also find all of the past broadcasts online. So please feel free to tell your friends about Paradigm Shift. Tune in again for future broadcasts, again on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, if you enjoy the content that we're creating, if you enjoy the service that we're being able to provide to the community, all this is value, and really want to be able to support the ongoing evolution of the project, please feel free to contribute by donating. You can do that through the main website. You'll find it just by going to the main page, scrolling down a bit, and you'll see the option to donate, or go to the sub menu to donate. And of course, you can donate with a single donation, a monthly donation, an annual donation. You can even donate to the team Patreon and get your Shifter Booster Kit in return with that, which also comes with your Light Guardian Crystal. And you can also check things out at thequestitemshop.com. So this project is made possible thanks to the support of the community. So again, thanking the community for helping make it possible. Yeah. And let's continue to grow and expand together. This is going to be a very, very exciting month. I feel, again, with what we are creating here together, there are strong roots to this project. There is a lot of potential. And the big thing with it is being able to keep things simple, stay consistent, and think big. And we got that vision, we got that consistency. So thank you for being along for the ride. And again, I promise, it's literally a promise. Crazy to think, but a promise can be a real thing, that this will be a very, very exciting story to keep your eyes on and to be a part of. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being a shifter. Thank you for going out there. So go out there between this broadcast and the next. Create content if you feel called to. Work on things within your own life. Transform your own shadows. alchemize your own processes, learn things about awesome things, go out there, engage with your community, be compassionate, be a light guardian, be a light beacon, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so on behalf of myself and all the other shifters, we see you, we honor you, and we thank you. And for the girls who are here within the broadcast, please feel free in joining me as we say farewell to everyone tuned in and thanking them. And until next time, go ahead, everyone, gently unmute your microphone, say we love you, we love you, oh my god, thank you so much, woo, go team, woo, woo, woo.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you guys. Woo, woo.
Right. Namaste.
All
Love
right.
you guys.
Awesome. Thanks again. And for those who are interested, you can check out the recordings of our Conscious Media Co-op production meetings also on my YouTube channel. So, and you can find those on the main website also. So, lots of cool stuff still coming your way. Until next time, keep it shifty, and we will see you in the future. Thanks again.